All right. Hey, everyone. It's 2 o'clock. We're going to be talking about tapas. So tapas not meaning let's go out and have a couple dishes to share or appetizers. This is tapas coming from the yamas and niyamas. So at Yoga Davida, every month we get together in song, so think a gathering, and we have different discussions. And since September, we've been dipping into the yamas and niyamas. Highly recommend this book by Deborah Adele. You can get it on Amazon, and it's probably one of my favorite books. I refer to it all the time. And so self-discipline, perfect time of the year to talk about self-discipline within the yoga practice as well as in your life in general. And whoever's coming on board, please by any time say hi if you have questions or if you want to elaborate on something or anything, share, please do. I would love to hear from you. Hi, Alice. So again, this is the book that I'm going to be referring to, so you can get this. Doesn't cost much at all, and it's totally worth it. So self-discipline, as we head into the new year, you know, if you go to any gym, any health place, whether it's food or activity, even church, it's like everybody floods in like they want to restart doing good things for themselves. And it goes good. It goes good for probably a good, I don't know, maybe a month, and then some of those people will trickle off the second month. And by the third month, all of the people that had already had a practice or a regular routine self-discipline of dipping their toes into something that's good for themselves, back in December, they're the ones that are still in the gyms and the yoga practice, eating healthy and all that kind of stuff. So think of your self-discipline as making tiny efforts towards a long-term goal. And so what I want you guys to do is do me a favor, bring your hands together, rub them really fast for me. Hi, Carolyn. So rub your hands fast, like really fast, so you can feel that heat. So tapas literally means heat. So we're creating heat in between our hands. Keep going, almost there. If you're not feeling that heat, go a little bit faster. And then bring them lower down towards your belly button. Lift your hearts up for me. And now close your eyes. Take your hands just slightly apart from each other and hold. Now, keeping your hands so that the fingertips and the palms aren't touching, just take the hands slightly apart, maybe about an inch. And then bringing those hands closer together, again, not to touch, but just a little bit closer. Bring the hands apart. And then bring them back together. One more time, take them apart. And then bring the hands back together. Take a deep breath, inhale. And exhale it out. So notice the feeling that you have in between your hands. There's an energy, almost like electricity going on. This is your fire. We all have it. We all have fire. This fire doesn't go out until your last breath. The big thing that we have to understand that your fire can be really dim or it can be out of control. And so think of tapas or your self-discipline as allowing yourself to, if your fire has been dimmed, life has been really heavy, you've had tragic loss, a lot of heaviness on your body, your light will get dim and you will literally feel extremely heavy. Maybe it's really hard to get out of bed. Your thoughts are really heavy. You're very cluttered, right? So that's when your light is really dim. Then there's the opposite. When your fire is out of control, you have trouble just sitting still. You're always having to go, go, go. You're over obsessive about a lot of things. You're a control, like manic. You hold on to the steering wheel really, really tight. So that would be where your fire is out of control. You have a hard time just flowing, right? So if you're one that's very routine oriented, and then all of a sudden you run into a friend and the friend's like, hey, let's go have a drink. You're just like, yeah, I can't do that, right? You have a hard time allowing yourself go off of your routine to experience something else. So when your fire is at a very even place, you're in a place of steadiness. And that's where you can find yourself easily coming to that place of feeling peace, calm. You feel your happiness, you feel your sadness, but you don't become your sadness. You don't become the grief. You allow yourself to easily navigate where you're at, your feelings. So that's a lot of fun. So here's the other thing. So if you haven't dived into the yamas and niyamas, I want to give you a really quick, so I'm just going to take like the next 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes on some of the reasons why the other guidelines. So these are morals and guidelines to the yoga practice. So we have to live in a compassionate space, non-harming, and that's practicing ahimsa. So allowing ourselves to live in that compassion. We have to live in a place of truth, which means we have to peel back the layers, right? We grew up with our family, we grew up in different communities, and maybe their beliefs are not necessarily what we are now in alignment to. And so that means we have to kind of stray off of their path to create your own path. So that's santosha. So, that's satya. Santosha is contentment. So contentment is sometimes really, really hard for people to understand because it means to not dislike or like. And I often think of it as the phrase as it is what it is, right? So whatever you're doing right now, you don't have to like it or dislike it. It just is what it is. And that was always a phrase that really drove me up the wall, but it literally explains what santosha means. And the other one that is really helpful is asteya, which means non-stealing. And that's a lot about the energy. So if you're an empathetic individual, you energetically are very sensitive to your environment around you. And I often say that you're kind of like the lint roller. Right? You go into a store and the energy is really crazy, but when you walked in, you're like super peaceful and super calm, and then you leave there and you're like, feel sticky and like not good, right? It's because everybody around you pretty much gave you their crap, their confusion, their scatteredness. So think of asteya, non-stealing, as allowing yourself to understand, number one, where are you? And giving yourself boundaries. And also, like, there's a reason why my husband and I chose to live in the middle of the woods, because both he and I are very, very sensitive. And so as much time as I spend out in public teaching, I have to go back to the woods to replenish my cup, to also pour out other people's stuff and replenish my own space. So asteya, it literally means non-stealing. So think about, are you one that's on time? So literally, right? You have to be somewhere at 2 o'clock. Were you here at 2 o'clock? Or were you a couple minutes late? Sometimes this can become a habit. And sometimes you just feel like, oh, it's no big deal. But on the receiving end, if you're the person that is supposed to be meeting someone at 2 and that person's waiting at 2 and they're like, they're late, here they go again, right? So they're not feeling valued. They're not feeling, they're not being seen. And that might be, you guys probably have people in your life that are always the 10-minute late, right? I try to always be 10 to 15 minutes early. When the kids were younger, that was crazy hard to achieve, but we're not there anymore. So anyways, so the non-stealing part is that energetic, allowing yourself to just begin to realize how you are emanating your energy, as well as those people around you, depending on who you are, you may be accumulating other people's energy. So boundaries are good. So the self-discipline, this is the fun time. Starting small is huge. So you guys do me a favor. This is fun work. This is my favorite kind of work. I'm not a resolution girl. I'm an intentional girl, and I use the same intention for a whole year. Last year, my intention was to trust. This year, my intention is to rise. Okay, so it's one word. So sit up nice and tall for me. Close your eyes. Relax your shoulder blades, relax your elbows, lift your heart. So if there is one feeling that you would like to move into, to that, you feel it, you breathe it, you think it, you act with that feeling, what would that one word be? All right, you guys got your word, right? So all you have to do is place I am in front of it, and it becomes your affirmation. So I am rising. It's done. I'm rising. I'm rising from where I was. I'm rising to where I want to go. That's my thing. What is yours? So now the next step is that we have to clearly see ourselves. So sitting tall again, close your eyes. And allow yourself to envision 1 year from now. How would you physically look if you moved into that space? How would your relationships look? Your finances, your career, your home, your health. And so open your eyes. So that's the first step to moving into self-discipline, is you have to see where you want to go. Down to physically, to the feeling of, man, if I move towards this, it's awesome, right? You just feel awesome. You feel good about the choices that you're making. But then there's the action that has to be done behind it. So if you don't have a paper and pen, go grab one. Okay, so grabbing a pen and paper are really, really great, because this way you move it from the head onto the paper. It's no longer a dream, it's a goal, right? So stop daydreaming. Daydreaming is good, but then to move towards those dreams, we have to physically get it out. And this is you sharing to the world, right? By you writing it down. So writing down your intention, writing how it looks, how it feels, and all that good stuff. Hi, Anne. So this is like my favorite work, because we're all human. We're all in this human experience. And some days we rock, and some days, man, we feel like the rock's sitting on us, right? So allowing yourself to understand that compassion behind this self-discipline means every day I'm going to take 15 minutes and I'm going to do an action towards my goal. So I'm not a huge, like restorative is like the best, and yin yoga is the best, and yoga nidra is the best. These are our yoga practices that are really soft, okay, where you never really stand up. I think they definitely have a place, and this is where when you're feeling really bombarded because you've been super busy. So like over the holidays, hell yes, I put my legs up the wall for 15 minutes one day, and that was my 15 minutes of practice because I had been going all day, like on my feet, thinking and doing, and I just needed to rest. However, when we decide that we want to change, our mind is going to do everything in its power to keep you from making those steps towards change. So some of that self-talk would be like, you can't do this. You suck. You're not worth it. Anybody else got any of those really like nasty, like our mind is a bully. It is the biggest bully. Like we have enough of that crap out in our environment, but in our heads, we're constantly listening to it. So think of the 15 minutes a day, actually you taking action towards, I'm going to move towards my intention, right? So allowing yourself to get outside and go for a brisk walk, allowing yourself to get up and clean the damn junk drawer, right? So doing things that actually create crystal clear clarity in where you want to go. And if you don't have a regular yoga practice, I highly recommend it. If you're here local, Alice and Anne, you know, come on board. And if you're not here, Carolyn, you can go online. And the idea is that you make it easy. Don't make it hard, right? Because if we make things hard, we quit easy. And quitting is a habit. So do as much as you can without quitting, right? So there's that challenge. So, today in practice, we did some arm stuff, right? We held up our arms and we did some twisting. We just went side to side, right? We're twisting like this. This is part of our practice. And then after twisting for about 2 minutes, I had everybody hold here, holding your arms up, right? And while we're doing this, we're chanting Wahe Guru, and that means the magical and the mystical lesson, right? And meanwhile, while this is happening, I can see students' shoulders going up, and then all of a sudden they have no neck. And so I say, relax something, lift your heart. And so your yoga practice is about you stepping into little challenges, and you get to see what your reactions are. So what's going on in your mind? What self-doubt, what anxiety rises? And you get to see it. You get to be like, hey, there it is. It's come back again. Like, wow. So while you're in the practice, you begin to go, relax. Like, my shoulders don't have to be up. I can hold up my arms. I can stay steady with my voice. I'm totally okay. This is totally okay where I'm at. And then what happens is when you go out in the world and the world throws you a lemon, you get a flat tire, right? The world throws you a flat tire. Instead of going absolutely ballistic, you just go, ugh, I got a flat tire. What do I need to do? And then you start doing what you need to do to get it fixed. Instead of getting yourself all worked up, blood pressure out of control, and then you tell the story for like 3 weeks, and every time you tell the story, the blood pressure goes up. And that's what the yoga practice does. So these little tiny challenges allow you to meet yourself when challenge rises. This is how I react. These are the tools that I can do to soften the reaction, to be in a good space. So kind of cool, right? It's like, it's not a bad thing. I can do that. So that's like the most awesome thing about the yoga practice. Hi, Linda. And so with that, I have to put my specs on because I can't read without them. Tapas is our determined effort to become someone of character and strength. Character and strength. So one of my teachers years ago said, every time you meet up with people, you're making an impression. What impression do you want to leave? What impression are you leaving? And that's your character. You know, when you walk into a room, what kind of vibration are you bringing into the room? What kind of vibration when you leave? What are you leaving, right? So this self-discipline of showing up and cleaning yourself off and allowing yourself to really shine brightly. It's awesome, and it's work. It's work, but I don't think we were born into this human experience to just hang out. Like, I don't think that, never. I think that we're supposed to hang out and share and expand and grow. And by doing the same thing over and over and over again, it's just not good. It's stale, right? If you're still thinking the same way than when you were a teenager, and if you're like, I'm 46, about 47, and if I was still thinking the same way that I was back then, I wouldn't be doing what I am right now. Not at all. There's no way. So here, I was sharing earlier in our gathering that some of the things that I recognized when I was going through some of our trainings is that people start unveiling truths, right? So dust is really heavy, right? Heavy on the heart, heavy on the brain, heavy on our me, myself, and I's, our little pity party that we like to have. And so with the steadiness of the meditation and the breathing practice and the moving of the body, all of a sudden we start seeing and thinking and hearing crystal clear. So in a group of us, there was 20. I had one woman left her marriage. She realized that this is so not what I want. Another woman left a career. And then we had two individuals who unfortunately had loss. One guy lost his dad, and they kept coming to the practice. And I swear that the practice was holding them so that they could experience their grief and their sadness, allowing the students to see them in this space and just giving them that space to do what they needed to do to take care of themselves. It is amazing, right? There's a reason why I love sharing this practice, because it doesn't matter how old you are or where you are, as long as you can move your breath, there is a place for you to practice, okay? Anybody got anything? Glad you're all here. It's pretty cool. This is my first live thing on the group, so cheers. So, with that, here's a question for you. What are we practicing for? When is the last time you even asked yourself this question? So first of all, why did you show up? Why are you on this live group? So you can just think about it, or you can share it. It's totally up to you. But think about that. Why are you here? Usually people show up in a yoga practice because it could be one of a few things. Number one, someone told them, you should really try yoga. It could be a doctor, therapist, friend. Usually if you have one of those people tell you to go to yoga, it's because mentally you might be really heavy in stress and anxiety, and it's a great tool to release that stress and anxiety. The other reason is that you've heard about it and you see some crazy, amazing things that humans are doing and extremely happy. So you're seeing this joy, and you want to sip that freaking joy, that cup of joy, right? I want a little bit of that. Can I do that? I started off because I was diagnosed with some skin thing and I couldn't leave my freaking house, and I was a gym rat back there then, and so I bought a VHS and I was hooked, 1998, hooked. Never did I ever stand so tall, never did I feel so strong in my body and connected to my heart. And then over the years, it's evolved into this like amazing, amazing thing. So I know for those of you who are here, you're here for a purpose, and know clearly why are you here? Because once you start this path, and it's going to be really, really good. So going back to the gym thing, by the third month, I call it the honeymoon ride is over. Then life starts happening. It's really chaotic over here. I got to go over here and take care of this. So I'm going to step out of the gym or out of my yoga practice, out of my good intentions, because I have to go take care of this. It's because you forgot why you started. So clearly remember why you started, because when life starts throwing you those lemons, stay on track. Do 15 minutes a day, whatever that 15 minutes is, so that you can burn off the heavy stuff, the out of control stuff, the stuff that's dimming your light, because y'all have amazing light that needs to be shining brilliantly and spreading over this world. So, anybody got anything? So tapas is you physically getting into this work. So here's a little prayer that has to do with the possibilities of transformation for human beings. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. This is a profound plea to change us from haters to lovers, and from disturbers of peace to makers of peace. This is the prayer of Tapas, and it invites us to be in life in a different way. We need a lot more peacemakers, a lot more hope, faith, love. Period, right? There's no elaboration, there's no need to, because we just need it. We need it within us, and just move in life. And one of the most amazing things when I have new students come and they're like, I want my husband to practice with me, or my mom, or whatever, they really would like this. Keep doing you. That's all you have to do. Keep working on you, and what will happen is people will see the different changes, the little tiny changes, and then they'll come to you and be like, what are you doing? Because maybe your reactions are different, or responses to different places in the world. You just show up slightly different. I'm still my crazy self that I was as a teenager, slightly different. My delivery is maybe a little bit different. I'm more of a peacemaker than I was a fighter back then, right? So that's really cool. All right. So I'm gonna wrap this up with you guys with, at the back of her chapter on tapas, she has 4 weeks that she gives you some things to focus on. And in week 1, she says, remember the chaotic times in your life and how you were shaped by them. Notice the times you may have checked out from the pain, and others where you were fearless in the fire and held on for the blessing. So there's times in our lives where we're like, nope, not going there. And then there was times where we're like, I gotta be with this. So allow yourself to kind of sit with that, maybe journal. And then she says, choose a practice of nourishing eating, meditating, contemplating, or something else that impacts the quality of your essence. Can you put yourself in the heat with enthusiasm? So what are some things, so your intention, what are some things that you can do, little things on a daily basis, that you're not like, I have to do it again? That you can be like, I can't wait to do this again, right? So what are some of those things? So if you have that paper and pen, go ahead and write it down. Thirdly, she says, 1 minute more, stay 1 minute more in whatever unpleasantness presents itself to you. Can you stand the heat of unpleasantness? Can you let the heat begin to burn away your judgment, opinions, and expectations? So one of my greatest, one of my favorite things Danny and I did years ago was we decided that, because we're kind of food snobs because we love to cook at home. So, you know, we're foodies. So with that, we decided that we're still going to eat out, but we're not going to have any expectations. We just drop the expectations. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Can I tell you, as soon as you do that, when you drop the expectations, then life becomes extremely good. Extremely good. Because you're not looking for fireworks every time you go out, right? That kind of is awesome. And then allowing yourself to like sit with your mind and your thoughts. Can you go through a whole day observing how much you judge others and yourself? We all do it. We all do it. So just allowing yourself to observe that. It's a really neat practice. And sit with that unpleasantness to see if you can shift it. So she says in week 4, pay attention to your daily choices. Are you making choices that are indulgent or making choices that build your strength and character? Listen to your inner voice and make choices that prepare you for the heat of life. And I love that. The heat of life. So there's fire in life, right? You are the fire. Recognize when your fire has been dimmed. Light your life up. Light it up. Allow yourself to just dip into the things that feed you, right? Feed you. Recognize the things that you are utilizing as a Band-Aid, right? Overindulgence is a Band-Aid. So that you can feel that absolute innate fire, that essence within you that's amazing. With that, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and close it off. I'm so excited. This was awesome. And I look forward to more of these groups. If you thought it was helpful and you want to share it, go for it. And if you have any comments, you can leave those. If you want to start your online practice, go to classes.yogadevita.com. There's a free 7-day trial. You can ride the wave and see if it's for you. Outside of that, have a wonderful new year. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Namaste, everyone.